Walter, what do you think about camping and art?
Oh, yeah. You know, I think that camping is like a type of fantasy. It's kind of like a world building exercise. When we go camping, we sort of decide to inhabit this idea that we're going on like an expedition or survival situation, or maybe we're just creating a temporary home somewhere. This act of sort of deciding and then creating a temporary world allows us to sort of depart from ordinary life and to step into a new reality. And I think this type of reality also creates this type of impromptu community. We can reshape the relationships that we might have with people in our lives. When we go somewhere stripped of the usual context of maybe routine or home or school, we can then create a new type of relationship with that person in the context of maybe an adventure partner or an expedition, or just someone that is foraging food for the camp. And I think that this type of construction of a new world is similar to what happens in art. I think in a lot of ways art is also a form of world building. And to make art is to invite people or a viewer into a constructed space, into one's own mind, where an idea or a feeling that you might have is given form and coherence. I think this act of deliberate construction, deciding what's within the frame and what isn't, is ultimately what crafts that world that your art inhabits. And I think this might be something that's speculative or something that's representational, something that's talking about reality or talking about fantasy, but in all ways it's offering this type of vantage point where you're seeing something from a perspective that's a departure from ordinary life. And in the context of a residency like Grablitzy, these things go hand in hand. Living and creating in the same space forms this all-encompassing relationship with the work. World building becomes something that you embody both by living and by doing. And the art you make becomes a space you inhabit, and the place you sleep in, and the life you live 24/7. And this immersion allows you to sink fully into this world that you're trying to build. And these worlds are ultimately temporary and to a large degree artificial, but I think that's their beauty. There's something inherently valid, beautiful, and meaningful in creating something that's both artificial and fleeting.